Welcome back. We are back. It is week 2 of our Troubles in Otari playthrough here. Last time y'all started with a bit of a tug of war in the Otari fishery. You gathered down there. Some of you due to an invitation, others of you due to just going down there. Actually, I say that because that's what I wrote in my notes, but I'm pretty sure literally all of you were like, "No, my character is an introvert and I got invited." um, so you're all invited. Correct me if I'm wrong, but um, Tamily
If there was
Tanderville
a
was there.
chance, I would have checked it out, but it would have been a low chance.
Yes, that's fair. That's fair. Either way, Tamily definitely invited you there with a reason in mind, not just to partake in the party. She's got one of these parties going on constantly all the time, but she wanted to see you all in action, see if you could work together, how successful that would be, because she's had her eye on you for a bit, and she's hoping to put you to work here at her fishery to deal with the problem she's had. You are all familiar faces around town, whether you only come here to visit once in a while because you live nearby and you just need supplies, or whether you've been here for a few months studying thus and such. Either way, she knows you. She knows everybody in town. Tamily is probably like the number one person to know literally everybody in this entire town. She's just a social busybody. Tries to get as many people involved in the community stuff around town as possible, all of that. So because of that, she knew you all had a few skills under your belt, whether it was magic or some physical might, or being able to survive in the wilderness outside Otari, which is famed for its strange problems and undead roaming on occasion and all sorts of weirdness that can happen out there. If you're able to make a living out there and survive, you got more than enough skills in our book. So she thought perhaps the four of you would be a good choice to help her with a problem. You see, she went down into the fishery just the other day, and several of her barrels in the basement were burst open, and fish were scattered everywhere. It looks like something rather large had sort of broken through a nearby wall, just eaten a ton of her fish that she had stored in the basement, and then run back out. So she hired you all with 10 gold apiece to head down into the fishery basement and check it out. Do some investigation, figure out your own understanding of what happened down there, try to track down whatever might have been eating the fish or whatever might have broken down the wall, figure the situation out. And so you headed down. You found the fisher. Yes, that is Lily in the background. You found the basement of the fishery. You found fish scattered everywhere. You found the broken open barrels, and not long after inspecting the place, you found several giant rats. These rats, even though Tamily was very certain that it couldn't have been rats that broke in because it seemed like something far too large was eating all the fish, these were very, very, very large rats, and that seems to be she was wrong after all. But regardless of the unusual size of these rodents, you managed to vanquish all of them and come out safely. Although it was a little sketchy for a couple of you there. Um, you found that the opening in the wall led to a tunnel that seems to go deeper underneath the town. You're not sure quite what's out there yet, but there's some quite slippery rock. It seems like it might be not the easiest thing to traverse in the world. But you all decided that since at least these rats were dealt with, and you saw that the tunnel goes farther, perhaps you should go back up to the surface, speak with Tamily again, and figure out where to go from here. And so that is where we pick back up. I'll bring us now to the Otari map. Because you're no longer down under Otari. You're back up in Otari. And I suppose it would be appropriate of me to make it nighttime in Otari. Because you're at a late night party. And you're down in the Otari fishery, which is near the pier going out there. So you all, after gathering up your grappling hook and stuff, you used to climb down the cliff inside the cave, went back up the basement stairs of the fishery, and found Tamily still leading a party upstairs. But when you all emerged from the basement, it was near closing time anyways, and so she, shouts to all the people, all right, enough, we're closing early tonight. Come back tomorrow, we'll have another one. Ah! big cheers from the crowd. Everyone starts leaving, having their merriment even as they walk out the door. Several ales are spilled on the way. The family goes over to start cleaning those up. And once everyone's finally out and you have a bit of peace and quiet to talk with her, well, so what did you find down there?
Rats.
I beg your pardon. Rats, really?
They were
Large
pretty
rats.
large.
Big rats. Oh, I see. Big
Like,
rats.
imagine like a rat about half the size of this friendly bear here.
My,
Matt,
those are rather large rats, yes. I suppose you left the bodies down there. I'll be able to see them later. That's fine. You know what? Let me just... She opens up the basement and looks down, sees the rat bodies down there, and says, yes, those are quite large rats. Yes, yes, indeed. So is it all of your professional estimation that it was these rats that did this work down there?
I'd say so. That's what it looked like from the marks on all the what was that, on the barrels and stuff?
Yes, but I would also suggest shoring up that wall. There's a passageway that we weren't able to explore entirely there. So, who knows what
We
else
don't
is in
want
the
any more
tunnels.
rats getting in that way.
Yeah, did it look to you all like the rats broke open that wall originally? I can
Did it
shore up the
really?
wall. I can pay for that to be done. It's just, well, if there's more rats in the tunnel, or, oh, heavens forbid, something else deeper in the tunnel, I don't want them simply breaking down the wall again after I shore it up.
So,
Yeah, sorry.
no, I was just going to ask a question. Have you heard of any stories in the town of similar stuff happening, or has anyone else had weird happenings? Because that tunnel seems to go a good ways into the town, so not sure if other stuff is getting caused by this.
Well, not as of late, but that's the rumor that's spreading. Yes, the worry amongst the townsfolk here is that they'll start breaking into other basements and wreaking their own havoc. We really have no idea how deep these tunnels go. I suppose she sort of scratches her temple with a finger. Well, the thirsty alpaca, unfortunate incident as it was, fell to ruins only a few weeks ago. Now, it was very strange, quite sudden, and we don't really know where the tavern's owner went. Unfortunately, several people are still missing. We found several bodies in the wreckage, but we don't know the full extent of it. Now, since you're mentioning tunnels under the town, I suppose it's possible that the tunnels go deep under the river, back up, and then they tunneled under the ruins to collapse them, but I don't think that would be the work of rats.
We were thinking about resting up a bit and then going to explore the tunnels in the morning, if that's okay with you.
Yes, of course, as long as the immediate threat is taken care of. Completely understandable. Yes. I would absolutely appreciate you delving deeper to figure out what the true threat is here. I'll be honest, I'm not entirely convinced it was merely rats as big as they are.
That might make sense. Yeah, some of us got a little beaten up by the rats before we got a handle on them, so we do want to rest a bit. But
Of course. I tell you what, I know... I want to be fair in this, of course. I know it seems like I paid you these 10 gold, or I promised you these 10 gold, and now I'm stringing you along to go even deeper underground than you probably thought you were signing up for in the first place. So here's what I'll add. I don't have much extra funds available at the moment, but I do have an emergency supply. Wait right here. And she'll head into the back room of the fishery. You hear some things being shifted around, some boxes being moved and dropped from a shelf onto a lower shelf, and some bottles rattling against each other, that kind of thing. Then finally, she seems to find what she was looking for. Comes back out, and she has 2 bottles in her hand. They're filled with like a red, sparkly liquid. So, you can have these if you promise to delve deeper, and I'll even pay you now. You can use that money as an advance. As long as you promise, you give me your word, you will complete this quest I have given you, to use the adventurous term around these parts. And yeah, a deal? These 2 potions, in addition to your payment, there are 4 of you and only 2 potions, of course. Well, 6 of you if you count the animals, but they're very valuable potions. They might come in handy as well.
What sort of potions are these? Healing?
Yes, indeed. These are potions of healing.
I remember studying that in my potions class. I'll turn to the party. They could be quite helpful in case any of us get scraped up. Or fall down a cliff again.
Of course. I'm totally I'm fine committing to seeing this through. Are you?
I'd like to find out what's going on here at least. Could make an interesting paper.
This is my first time back in town in quite a while, so I'm game.
I do want a little bit of time, though, to do research and ask around, see if anything else knows anything, or if there's any texts about tunnels underneath town in the library. Of course.
Yeah,
Of course, of course.
do we also want to check out the ruins before we go into the cavern as well?
Oh, that's a good point. We could see if they're connected.
Might be worth going from the cavern side then.
At the what side? The cavern side?
Yeah, like starting from here and seeing if we end up in the ruins. That way we don't spread ourselves
Ah, yes.
too thin on the research side.
Makes sense.
Of course, we do have a student here, so we might have it easier.
Friendly neighborhood wizard at your service.
Yes, take the time you need to research, get supplies. I'm sure this advance of gold will help you equip yourselves if needed. Well, I'm sorry I don't have more than this to offer at this time, but, well, there'll be more in the future, I'm sure. And this will be the talk of the town, I'm sure, once you are all the members of the town to solve this great mystery of the missing fish and the... well, you'll be the heroes of the Otari fishery.
I mean, I couldn't not help out Nocti's favorite fishery. You know.
Of course, of course. Well, it is quite late. I should let you all get some rest. You can get to work on this as soon as possible, and I'll finish closing up around here. Before we do leave that scene, though, can I ask which characters are taking the healing potions, or two of them? They will just give you 1d8 hit points when you drink them. They're not terribly strong, but they're something.
Does it take an action to use it?
Yes, so it would normally take an interact action to take it out, and then an action to drink it, or feed it to someone, or whatever.
Unless you like keep it on your person and not in your backpack, right?
So if you keep it on your person, it'll take one interact action to take it out. If you keep it in your backpack, it'll take one interaction to take off your backpack, one interaction to take it out of the backpack, and then perhaps a third interaction to put your backpack back on, unless you just want to leave it on the floor while you finish the combat.
Okay.
Backpack
Makes sense.
is deep storage. You don't want anything in there that's urgent.
I
I'm
will.
not gonna take it.
Yeah, I will gesture to my belt where there is an identical potion
All right.
and say, one of you guys might have better use of it since I already have one.
I would not shy away from taking one.
So far it
They
sounds
are-
like Ayla and Ogden.
No, I'm avoiding.
Oh, okay.
Saying, I know a little bit of healing magic. It's not my expertise, so it only works for me sometimes. But it should be. I don't need a potion immediately on hand. I think.
But what if Nocti needs something?
Nocti'll be fine. She is so swift.
I mean, I'll take it. I mean, the only healing I know is from just the natural remedies that I've learned out in the woods. But I mean, I'll take the potion if no one else will.
Go for it.
Thanks.
Alright. So I've distributed those potions. You can all also add 10 gold to your sheets.
We're rich.
As you're being paid in advance. Oops.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I love the system how it just does it for you.
Yeah. All right. So, as you all depart the fishery, where are you all off to?
I assume there's no stores or anything open.
No, at this point it would be like 2 in the morning. There might be some, late shifts at some, of the inns around town, things like that. The guard is probably still up. There's probably still some guards around town. Things like that, but not any major markets or anything.
I'm pretty sure I live in town, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that would make sense. So if you've got a place nearby.
Yeah. I'll work with you to figure out if there's like a rent management thing I need to do.
Fair enough. You moved here just a couple months ago, right? And you're doing like a study program?
I just kind of moved in. I hang out at the library sometimes. I find odd jobs other times.
That's fair. Yeah, I think there are mechanics in downtime for like keeping up a certain level of lifestyle, which that might be included in. But yeah, we can get to that when we get to it. For now, that's fine. This, if I remember correctly, 10 gold pieces doesn't sound like a lot, especially if you're used to some other RPGs, but I mean, that's a $1,000 payday you all just got. And especially in a small town like this, that could cover your expenses for a couple weeks pretty easily. So as far as like even including stuff like owning a residence. So you're getting paid pretty handsomely to do this job for Tamale. She is not skimping on you. So with that 10 gold in hand, you probably don't have much to worry about as far as rent or whatever.
Yeah.
We'll
So
get to it.
what I'd say is my apartment's not large, but if any of you need a guest space, I have an extra bed and I can make up some pallets on the floor.
Wow, that is so kind of you. I was just planning on going out and sleeping in the woods, but I mean, I can't remember the last time I was in the same home as someone sleeping in quite a long time.
All right. Ayla, do you have a school dormitory?
I mostly just curl up in the library wherever they allow me to. So I could just go do that if that's all right. Would the library allow me to curl up on their floor, or have I been
Yeah, I think
sleeping
so.
on the library floor unnoticed for the last 2 weeks?
Do you follow one of their religions? And
What's
like,
their
would you?
religion?
So they are. Well, the Dawnflower Library is primarily dedicated to the Dawnflower herself, who is like the sun goddess, I believe. But they also have shrines to several others, like is it Caden Kalian? Yeah, Caden Kalian is one of them. He's like the god of luck,
He's
essentially.
based.
Yeah, the god of like drunkenness and luck and adventurers.
Mhm.
Erastil and Gazra. I don't remember off the top of my head, but
Yeah, Rascal Gang, rise up.
yeah.
Yeah, Erastel's kind of like home and hearth.
Yes, god of the hunt. Yeah, home and hearth makes
Yeah.
sense.
Hunter-gatherer god.
So a lot of and Gazra is the wind and the waves, a god of nature essentially. So a lot of things you would expect from a small coastal town in a forest like this. It tracks pretty well, especially with the adventurous background of the town. Now, so with that in mind, if you follow one of those religions, it's probably, and you're obviously a wizard, right? It follows that perhaps you just work there, right? And like if you would frequently work there, they would definitely provide lodging for you, whether you help with some of the services there, or you perform some research in the library, or help organize the library, that kind of thing. They would definitely provide lodging in those cases. Not that you have to
Unfortunately, I
follow
worship
their
Nephis.
yeah. Not that you
So-
have to follow their religion for like working in the library, for example, right? But if you wanted to do like religious service there, that'd be a different thing. So either perhaps if you work at the library itself, maybe like a librarian, or you just help organize things or whatever, then that would be one way to go about it.
I
Otherwise,
would
you
very
probably also
happily be a librarian. I'm down to be a librarian.
all right. There you go. So we'll say as a follower of
Yeah.
Nethys, that makes perfect sense. You are a librarian down there at the Dawnflower Library, and so you would be provided lodging as such. Those of you, let's see, Ash, you said you have an apartment, and the other two of you from out of town, right? Okay.
And Ashay's gonna host
Ashay,
the two guests.
makes sense. So there's a couple options here in town. Surprisingly, despite the name, the Rowdy Rockfish is probably the quietest lodge in town. It used to be quite a bit rowdier, but it's had a change of ownership recently, and they didn't want to change the name. So that's a possibility. There's also the Crook's Nook, which is a tavern and lodge over the river. It's built on the bridge there, and it sort of serves as the bridge as well as a building over the bridge. And so all of the rooms are sort of up over the covered bridge, if that makes any sense. That's an option.
Yeah.
I think those are the two main, like, largest places that would be most likely.
Yeah. Ashay offered to put the out-of-towners up in her apartment for the night so that they didn't have to pay for lodging if
All
they
right.
didn't want to.
Oh, sorry. That's what I was asking, is which of those two places would Ashay have settled?
Probably the quietest one.
Okay, so the Rowdy Rockfish. There you go. So just down there on the corner of the town where the library is. It's perfect.
We
So
can all walk each other home.
She's probably got an apartment there or something.
Yeah, I think so. That would make sense. I think especially with the new ownership of the Rowdy Rockfish, they would definitely welcome permanent tenants. uh,
Yeah.
the new owner is definitely much less. They didn't. I will tell you a little bit about it because you do live there. Um, the previous owner just went missing one day, completely out of nowhere, and so his mother moved in, and she is like a very stoic, like quiet individual, and so this place was just kind of pushed on her out of nowhere without her expecting it, but she wants to keep her son's place ready for him if he ever returns at some point. um and that would be Brelda Venkervale is looking for Lazda Venkervale. But her sensibilities are completely different from her son's. She doesn't care about owning a tavern necessarily, and so having more reliable business from the actual tenants and stuff makes a lot of sense.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I have when I take you guys there, Ush's apartment is very sparse. Like it's not like she's lacking things. It just there isn't a ton of stuff there. There's like a little nook with an altar to Pharasma. Um, and there's the bed and the wardrobe and a desk. And then the kitchen. But there's not really like seating furniture. It seems that she just tends towards minimalism. And you notice that there are small piles of what might be dust, but it's a little dark for dust in the corners sometimes.
Alrighty. So the two of you out of towners join Ashay there. Any final words before you head to sleep?
Oswin is just gonna kind of look around and then find just a place on the floor by the door to just plop down with his bear, and they'll cuddle up together and fall asleep.
Yeah. Ashay does have plenty of blankets in like a trunk at the foot of the bed. And they're surprisingly nicely made, and it seems like somebody close to her gave them to her at some point. And she like makes up the guest bed with blankets and then piles several blankets on the floor for you guys to nest in with the bear, just to make sure you like have enough blankets to make a nice little nest there.
Thank you for the hospitality.
Of course.
Yes, thank you.
I don't get guests very much, so it's kind of nice to put these to use.
I'm normally just under a tent, so this is better than what I'm used to.
I'll let Ogden take the guest bed. Oswin is just gonna like nest in a pile of blankets with his bear on the floor.
Excellent. What does Ayala do? What does your residence look like, even though no one else is joining you?
It's pretty small. It's just a library dormitory.
Mm-hmm.
There is a bed, but it has a slight layer of dust on it. Very slight. Because Ayla doesn't sleep there. Instead, across the middle of the room is a rope that is attached to and holding up a small hammock. There are some piles of books on the floor, mostly textbooks, paper, quills, ink, a couple stones. The research desk is absolutely filled.
Alrighty.
And To go to sleep, Ayla just hops up into the hammock and conjures a nice little breeze to rock her hammock.
Nice.
And Nocti sleeps on the pillow of the bed.
So it's Nocti's bed.
Yes, of
Yes,
course.
that makes sense. Of course, of course. All right. So as you all fall asleep, I'll go ahead and click this big old rest button, which I think should do everything automatically. There we go. So in Pathfinder, you don't automatically restore all of your hit points on a rest. Instead, I believe it's your Constitution modifier plus level or something. It's some formula like that. So some of you might still need medical attention, which can be done by another member of the party, or you can find somebody in town. But resting up over the night did patch up a few things. Some bruises are a little less tender, things like that. But not perfectly fine. But you still recover things like spell slots and all of that. But that all should be handled. And the sun rises on a new day. Where do you all gather?
I am trained in medicine, so if Coda needs more health, I can help take care of that.
I am also trained in medicine, so I think between the two of us, like over the next few hours, we can get fully healed.
Absolutely. Since this is our first time with it, let's just go through it for now. And then we can probably hand wave in the future. But just to be clear on how treat wounds works, both of you with your training in medicine should have that on your exploration activities section of your character sheet. So if one of you handles Coda and the other one of you handles Oswin, you could probably both make a treat wounds check real quick. And just see how that goes.
I'll let you handle Coda since you mentioned it.
Okay.
I'll try and heal myself.
So I just make a medicine check.
Yeah, so if you use your treat wounds, you do need to be wearing or holding healer's tools. So if you don't have those, you might need to keep them in town. But they are not crazy expensive, but they will come in plenty handy once you do have them. Hey, now you have some money.
I will go buy some then.
I will make sure I have some.
All right. Let's see. So I'm pretty sure that's something you could probably just pick up at the Otari marketplace, just across town there. If you open up that market, healer's tools are in there. Probably you don't need the expanded versions; those are just extra. But the regular ones, 5 gold pieces, on the pricey side, but that'll they don't expire or anything. You'll just have them. So.
Cool.
Is it okay for me to walk to the market as well and buy a couple things?
Yeah. If any of you want to just wake up and go shopping, go for it.
Why did it not let me buy the healer's tools?
Let me see.
I have the money for it.
You hit interact to buy item. I don't know if it actually did it.
Let's see. So I think my interface is slightly different than yours because I'm not a player. So what did you click on?
I clicked on the Otari market. What I could do is find it in the compendium browser and buy it there.
That works too, yeah. Was there a button you clicked in the Otari market that didn't work? So I can
I clicked on the icon button that turned into a little chat icon.
Ah.
Try to drag it into your inventory.
Okay.
I clicked it.
It pulls up a pop-up that says how many items do you wish to purchase.
Oh, there you go.
When I click purchase item... Oh, it worked this time. Last
there you
time Okay, cool.
Oh, at least worked this time.
I got mine as well.
All right. So with that all set, you can go ahead and now we have our healer's tools ready. And so if you can spend the 10 minutes necessary while the others go shopping, potentially. Yeah, and make that medicine check. All right. So it's a DC 15 for the basic one, so that is a regular success. But for Eshe, that is a failure, unfortunately, which just does nothing in this case. But Oswin, for your patching yourself up, you can heal 2d8 hit points.
Uh,
All right.
so presumably I'd try again in an hour.
Yes. So if you want to, yeah, try again on Coda, you need to wait an hour for Coda's immunity to wear off, and then you can try again. And that is a success. So another 2d8 for Coda.
Awesome. Perfect. We're both
Is
at
Coda
full
up
now.
to full health?
Sounds like
Yep.
it.
Yeah, we both are.
Okay, cool.
Anyone else purchase anything interesting? We'll look around.
Yeah, I bought a repair kit and some more rope, so now I have 100 feet.
Ooh, what does a repair kit do?
So if my shield breaks, I can use the repair action to interact with the repair kit to patch up my shield.
Pretty sweet.
Neat.
There's
I
a whole
don't know
bunch
if
of
it's
other...
used for anything else, but
Yeah, I'm not actually sure. I mean, there's probably other stuff. It just says you can repair items using the crafting skill. I imagine there are more details on that in like the crafting activity, but I can pull that up. But we're not necessarily craft. Here we go. The craft action. Ba, 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 ba.
I think it's the repair action, I thought.
Oh, that could make sense as well. It listed the craft action in its description, but yes, this is holding a repair kit. This does make sense. So it takes 10 minutes, and then you can fix something with a crafting check. So yeah, it just gives you an extra way to get that shield back up and going again. I don't think it's consumable. I think it's just a way to get things patched up, right?
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be consumable.
Yeah, no, it's just like another tool. So it's something to be used for, yeah, patching up your shields and stuff if they get broken.
So if anything breaks, let me know.
Okay. I would like to add that I would have gotten up early and made oatmeal with eggs for everyone with a little bit of like fruit syrup.
Ooh, very nice, very
And
nice.
for the bear, probably berries and eggs if the bear eats eggs.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. I think if you are need to double check, but as far as like consuming your food for the day, I looked up the cost of living table, but I don't think that covers food. It says it covers room and board, dues, taxes, other fees, all that stuff. So that's what we'll get to.
I mean, board is normally food, right?
I guess that makes sense. So yeah, you know what, this will all just be wrapped up in your subsistence roll at the end of the week, I guess. That's fine. We can do that instead.
Okay.
So we'll hand wave it for now, and then we'll charge you money for the week at the end of the week. 'Cause it's cheap enough that we don't need to bother at this point, I think. So yeah, you get the nice eggs and oatmeal and stuff. Nice. Any other shopping people want to do, or any other places you want to go around town? Start asking around.
Shopping for me, but at sunrise, I would probably attempt to cast message at Eshe.
All right, what would you say?
I want to check to make sure I can first, because it has a range of 500 feet, and the library is real close to 500 feet from the Rowdy Rockfish.
Yeah, you might not be able to do it from your dorm or not. Maybe need to move to
Yeah.
a certain part of the library, but then yeah, definitely. That's funny.
Convenient.
Yes.
I would I cast message saying, "Good morning," or Ayla, "Good morning." Wait, shit.
That's mine
Eshe,
too.
I cast message to myself because I have to say the person's name, make it
Oh.
work without seeing them. Eshe, good morning. I'm going to look around the library for a little before whatever the plan is to meet up. So if you need to find me, I'll be here looking at books somewhere.
All right. We'll come find you when we're done with our. We need to buy some stuff in the morning. We'll come find you when we're done.
All right. So the rest of you looking around town, probably at the marketplace would be the easiest way to just get most regular stuff. But if you have more specific needs, there are other stores around. You do have
I did have
that. One second. You do have that coupon for the crow's casks worth like 5 gold pieces, so you could potentially pick up another potion of some kind there. All sorts of things. Yeah, but yes, Liam, what's up?
This is out of character. I noticed that there's a climbing kit available. Would the group want me to buy that instead of 50 feet of rope? Because it includes 50 feet of rope and a ton of other stuff that helps climbing.
That sounds cool.
Hell yeah. I suck at climbing.
I am going to purchase that then instead of the rope.
What was it? Crook's Nook that we got the thing for?
Yeah, so you were staying at the Rowdy Rockfish.
Yeah, we got the coupon for Crook's
that
Nook,
was the
right?
crow's casks,
Crow's Casks. Okay.
just north of there.
I'm not seeing the store part of it.
That's fair. Weird. Did I just forget to pop that down? Or please hold.
Yeah, no worries. While we're doing rules and housekeeping, can I subtract the gold piece for cost of living now so I don't have to think about it later?
Sure. If everyone wants to subtract 1 gold piece, I guess if you're planning on staying here in town, it'll probably be about a gold piece for each of you, just to like live in the town essentially. I think that's fair. Let me make sure that this is.
So would Oswin and Ogden be like contributing to groceries basically? With their
Yeah,
gold
we can do
piece?
that.
I mean, I can cover as well.
Yeah, it's an abstract measure, but yeah, something like that is probably it'll be
Okay.
groceries and stuff. Maybe the owner of the inn is like, you got guests up there. Oh, maybe I need to charge you a little more. Whatever. But or they just get separate rooms in the tavern. But yeah, it's options. I can't find a pre-made shop that I like for this location, so I'll figure that out later. But in the meantime, if you do want to go there, you could definitely get another potion of healing or something if you want. That would be pretty easy. if that's what you're looking for, that'd be pretty cheap potion. I think most other potions might be more expensive. But I could check on that. I thought I had a thing for this. Very annoying that I don't seem to, but anyways. Stuff. Ah, wait, yes I do. Okay. So the only thing within the 5 gold price range is indeed a minor potion of healing, like you all have, which would be actually 4 gold pieces. But there are some other things there if you want to pool your money together. I'll try to convert this to a pre-made shop later, but this is just from the adventure instead, so I'll just post this in Discord. If any of you want to look into those items and potentially purchase them.
Would we be able to like get 1 gold piece worth of goods, like food?
From the Crow's Cask?
Yeah.
Or alcohol.
Or alcohol.
Yeah, if you want a week's supply of booze, you can get that there. They are like the most popular, like, you know, craft booze place in town. They've got, you know, the best ale, the best rums, the best, you know, whatever.
Yeah,
that could be
that's
fun.
what my vote goes for. Spend the 4 gold on the healing potion and the 5th gold on booze.
Same.
Alright. So the seasonal specials at the moment are I think it was a pumpkin spiced rum and like an elderberry ale or something like that. So yeah, some options. Magaloy is currently working on a goblin pepper stout. Sorry, it was a blackberry ale. I did find that in the notes here. But Magaloy is very quiet. Magaloy does not speak much. If spoken directly to, they'll interact with you as much as they can, but they mostly just point around to things in the place unless they need to express some more complicated ideas. They're a Tengu, which I think I sent the things before, but yes, this is Magaloy running the Crow's Cask.
Okay.
So who's taking that potion? It's one more.
I think everyone has one except for Ayala.
True.
Yeah. I'll say we should probably just make Ayla take it. She seems a little on the squishy side.
I have 20 health.
Yeah, Ale is for a constitution based class. We're actually pretty thick.
Okay.
But I mean, wait.
But
to
she's
you, she's a
pretending to
wizard.
be a wizard.
Yes, she's a wizard. True. So you definitely need to give your wizard a potion. That makes sense. So let's just add. We'll just handle it now, and we'll add a potion to Ayla.
Yeah. All the study types I've met, I've been able to break like a twig. And I'm not that strong.
Makes sense. All right. Any other shopping, or do you want to start asking around, going to different places and finding rumors, or do you want to just head down onto the fishery again?
I did have a question about the climbing kit.
Yes.
It says a single kit has only enough materials for 1 climber. So I don't know if everyone needs one or if I can, like, set it up to just be a rope that drops down, or...
So the climbing kit has a specific use, which is if you just want to climb, you could just climb. You could just free climb. That's fine. But the climbing kit is like a safety kit, essentially. It's like ropes and belay pulleys and stuff like that to let you set up like a system of ropes so that if you fall, then you get like a chance to catch yourself instead of just plummeting. If that makes sense.
Okay.
If you critically fail a climbing check, you just fall, right? So this is the kind of thing to help you get a little bit of extra protection. It looks like a 75% chance of saving yourself on a critical fail. So critical fail is already somewhat unlikely if you're good at climbing. So having that extra 75% makes it almost pretty strongly guaranteed that you'll be fine. There's obviously still a chance, but you know, it's a good safety kit basically.
Okay.
All right. So the ruins, you want to ask around at different places? You want to just talk to people in the marketplace? Like, what's the good vibe?
I am still in the library until I'm obtained.
Fair enough.
Well, I feel like we would get Ayla before going shopping.
I think Ayla described themselves as not going shopping with you, but being picked up.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think while I'd be out shopping, I'd kind of be chatting with people and
Okay.
kind of asking around. A lot of it would be like checking in, like, hey, there was this problem here. Have you had a problem? Like, have you had strange things coming into your house? Are you doing okay? Just kind of like checking in. I think Ashay probably knows the older folks in the town better.
Okay.
So she's like checking up on all the old folks as she sees them, asking how they're doing and listening to their gossip.
All right. So this kind of sounds like the gather information activity to me. So if you could roll me a diplomacy check just to see what you get out of this, whether you're finding rumors or whatever, you know. See what you get. Ooh, very good, very good.
I am very charismatic for somebody who keeps to themselves.
Yeah, so that is actually a critical success. So you're looking for information specifically on like the tunnels and the ruins and things, to try to figure out what could be going on, right? Listening for signs of this
Tunnels.
weird activity in other places. Yeah.
Yeah, if they know about the tunnels, any like local legends about the tunnels, and then if there's any current incursions that match or could parallel the rat situation.
That makes sense. Makes sense. So you do hear a few things, especially with the critical success. I'll tell you what you learned with a normal success first, which is that, I mean, everybody knows about the rumors going down at the fishery at the moment. That's kind of the talk of the town at the moment. You know, everyone's a little bit worried that these tunnels could start happening elsewhere, right? And the rumors are starting to spread around that maybe it's linked to those the ruins that are over on the west side of town, because it's possible that these tunnels caused a collapse. Nobody really knows what caused the collapse yet. Some investigations have been done, but it hasn't been super conclusive. Um, and yeah, if there's tunnels under the fishery and weird things are happening, maybe the fishery is going to collapse. Maybe they should look for tunnels in other basements. Everybody's a little worried, you know. But you already knew all that. What you do learn from a success there is that there are some weird rumors about the ruins being haunted. There are like signs of ghosts and voices heard at night, and strange lights and sounds. Um, sounds of wind whooshing through the ruins when there is no wind rushing through the town. All sorts of strange, eerie sounds. And so people have kind of given it some distance for now. They're not really sure what's going on, and that's sort of delayed the investigations, right? And on a critical success, you end up hearing from, yes, especially some of the older folk around town, that while these tunnels being so close to the surface is a new development and one to be concerned about, tunnels themselves being deep underground here is not all that new. In fact, there are many entrances to tunnels out in the forests around Otari and all over this island that lead deep underground into networks of tunnels that lead who knows where. People tell stories of the adventures they've gone on deep in the forest, where they've found a cave entrance that took them all the way down into the Darklands, which is essentially Pathfinder's equivalent to the Underdark. You know, things like that. So it's a place where lots of openings to the Underdark do rise up, essentially the Darklands. Yeah. So it's strange that there's tunnels this close to the surface. That is new. And the ruins are haunted. That's what you find out.
Cool. Of course, I'll thank the sources as I
Of course.
go. And then I'll say, I think maybe we have a good starting point for talking with Ayala. See if she's found anything about the history of the ruins.
Yeah,
Well,
so Ayla, you
didn't they
were...
say...
Sorry, what was that, Liam?
No, I was just gonna say, didn't they say it was a tavern before it collapsed?
Yeah, so if any of you were in town previously, it only collapsed a few weeks ago, and you would have known it as the Thirsty Alpaca, the tavern.
I've been in town for a couple months. So would I have been there maybe once before it collapsed?
Probably, something like that.
What kind of food did they specialize in?
Tavern food. Nod sagely.
Fair enough. I wasn't sure if it was something like the fishery, which would have like stores of food around, or if it was just, tavern.
Yeah, it was just another one of the taverns in town. It doesn't have like quite the same level of specialization that like the Crow's Casks do or something like that, but well, the Rowdy Rockfish was known for being rowdy, and the Crook Snook was known for well, the name kind of describes it, it's sort of a den of thieves. The Thirsty Alpaca was probably the most like average, like normal tavern in town where you could go there, you could have a good time, and it would be generally good no matter what you got there, but it wasn't like as specialized as any of the others. Let's say that.
All right. Cool. Thank you.
Of course, of course.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing Ogden would have been doing was probably asking around the houses and stuff near the ruins to see if there were like any strange noises or anything on the day that it collapsed.
Okay. Yeah, give me another diplomacy check for gathering information. And I forgot to do this with Eshe, but this is actually a secret check.
Ah. Oops.
That's all
Blind
right.
GM roll.
That was my bad. So yeah, you ask around the houses nearby, and it seems like those houses that are directly near the ruins, you bring up the topic and like faces go pale, eyes kind of glass over, and people just don't want to talk about it. They're like, did you really come here just to talk about that? Everyone keeps asking about it. Can we change the topic? It seems like you're not going to get much out of them, unfortunately. But it does seem, I mean, even in not getting any details out of them, it seems like people are, you saw the pale faces and the glassy eyes. It seems like people are having some sort of weird time with the ruins, indeed. They're possibly scared of it.
Mm.
So, Ayala, you were researching, right? Looking through the
Yeah,
library?
I want to look for information.
Okay, so there is a research activity, which makes a lot of sense.
Heck yeah.
This was not a very helpful rules explanation I got for research. All right, here we go. Research. Okay, now this is for specifically time constraints and stuff. Cool. So, I will say you know the library well. working there. So I'll say you probably just know where records on the town are. So what do you want to know about the ruins?
Um, I think I want to focus less on the ruins and more on the history of tunnels beneath town.
Okay.
Like, you know,
Gotcha. Okay. So more deep history than like just recent stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, that probably we should dig into the real research rules for, because that's like deeper history stuff to find. Do, 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 do. So, what skill check do we think is appropriate here? Sell me on a skill you're using here. What are you doing? Because it just says choose your research topic and attempt a skill check. So it feels like it's fairly has to be based on your form of research. Is there like a
I feel like I have the wrong kind of underworld lore to suggest that,
yes.
right?
Um
Arcana is about like researching, right?
specifically about like magic though.
Okay. Maybe nature?
I don't quite think so either. If you're looking specifically for like history, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to look up about natural caverns and stuff,
Maybe religion, because it's a religious library?
maybe. Okay, it looks like from what I'm seeing here.
Would it be like a lore? Would it be like a lore check maybe without proficiency
Yeah.
or something?
So it looks like there is a library lore skill you could have potentially.
Okay.
So perhaps you're too new to this library to like actually have that skill essentially, or something, and maybe that's why. So yeah, there's like academia lore, library lore. There's probably like a local knowledge lore too, that kind of thing. This does sound like a lore check the way you're approaching it.
Yeah.
So yeah. This might be something that I don't mean to say this to be mean, but this does sound like the approach you've chosen might be fitting for a real wizard.
Yes. Yes, it would.
So you go to start doing it like real wizards do this all the time. I can do this too. And then you realize it's way harder to do this kind of research than you thought. And since you're only a pretend wizard, it's kind of difficult.
I mean, I'm a student. I kind of know what I'm doing. Just, you know, I'm not very good at it.
So just give me an intelligence roll.
Okay.
Let's just start with that, and we'll just see where you get. I'll just call this an untrained, just intelligence roll. Yeah. So unfortunately, you really don't find much. You start looking through these tomes, and there's a lot of history in this town. This library keeps records of like all these adventures that many different people go on, and like the tales they tell when they come back, and it's crazy. It's a deep well of knowledge here at this library, and it's hard to even like find something quickly, unfortunately.
Why did you roll as Rin's Wonders?
Probably had it highlighted or targeted.
Yes.
Yes,
I did. Let's.
I mean,
okay,
it doesn't.
Now my name shows
matter.
up, but you know,
yeah,
it's a flat D20.
Yeah. Just a quirk of how I implemented the shops. Technically
Mine also
all
rolled as
character sheets
Liam.
have. Yep. All right. What was Oswin doing during this time? So I think everyone else was doing things like shopping and stuff, researching,
Yeah, so
gossiping.
husband was also doing some shopping. He bought himself a medical kit as well, and then while people were kind of just like going around door to door asking about like the ruins, he was kind of just tagging along behind them, just kind of like taking in the town and taking in the townsfolk. It's been so long since he's been around people that he's kind of just trying to absorb it all.
All right, makes sense. Makes sense. So if you're not trying to get anything in particular, then that makes sense. You're just hanging out around town. That's very fair. So I'll say at this point it's probably about midday. It's taking you several hours to go around and gather information, do some research, go shopping. So what do you all do now?
Head over to the library and try and find Ayla.
Yeah.
How do they find you, Ayla? What are you doing when they find you? Buried under a stack of books?
Taking a nap with the cat?
Yeah,
Oh, yes,
probably
research.
looking at like at a desk, kind of near the entrance, so that she could notice when Wall came in, with a stack of books, most of which are half open. That anyone who has spent any amount of time in like the town could probably figure out wouldn't have the relevant information. But she is trying.
Trying her best.
Mhm. Good morning. How was the shopping? Is it still morning? I don't know. I've been in here a while.
I think it's about midday. Have you eaten yet?
Who needs food when you have books? Books are sustenance.
Hey, come on. We'll get you some food. I think I might have some leftover oatmeal at my apartment. We can stop there on the way to the fishery.
Oh, you don't have to. No,
Shay makes a
don't
great
worry about
breakfast.
it. Oh, if you insist.
Oh, and I might have some milk for the cat.
Of course, this can all be found. And so you head off for some belated breakfast for some of you. And with sustenance achieved, what is the next order of business?
To the fishery, probably, right?
Yeah, and I'd catch her up on what I heard from shopping as well.
Makes sense. All right,
I
so
didn't,
y'all.
I didn't really find anything out, unfortunately.
No worries. The tunnels up top seem to be a fairly recent development, so I don't know that anyone would have written about them yet.
Yeah, that does seem fair.
I scratch it down on a little sheet of paper and stuff it in my pocket just to keep track of.
So down under the fishery, then? Sounds like? Back into the dungeon?
Yeah.
Boom. There we are. So you are where you left off here. I just didn't move your tokens, but the room up above was as you left it. The dead rats were still there. It appears that Tamley hasn't quite taken care of them yet. Perhaps she will at some point today. But other than that, yeah, you still got this cliff ahead of you, and you can still see something a little strange up to the north in here, but you're not sure exactly what's up there. What y'all doing?
I would probably try to reattach the grappling hook because you said it almost reached the ground down there, right?
Yeah, and since you did that last time, I'll give that to you for free. That's fine. So you can reattach the grappling hook. And yeah, when you dangle it down the side, it's like like 3 feet off from the bottom. It's pretty close. It doesn't quite touch the ground, but it's enough that you can like reach up to the rope and grab it and pull yourself up from there. I assume.
Out of curiosity, how tall is Oswin?
Let me see here. He is. I actually wrote it down. Just gotta check. He's under 3 feet. I know that.
So we'd have to jump to get the rope, or maybe drop. It's all right. One of us can lift him.
2'9". I'm 2'9".
Excellent, excellent. Well, I mean, 2'9", you can reach your hands up. You'll probably reach it. 2'9" plus wingspan. Not too bad, not too bad.
Yeah.
Wait, I have my cloak on today. Hell yeah. I have
Hell
one more
yeah.
AC.
Let's go. So since you all sort of solved this cliff before, just in the interest of time, I'll say now you've solved the cliff, so you can just go up and down the cliff freely at this point, unless there's time pressure. So if you all want to go down the cliff, just let me know. I'll pop your tokens down there, and yeah, should be good. If you're like, if something's chasing you, or you know, something like that, time pressure, then I might have to make you roll. But other than that, should be fine. Everyone down?
I'm
Yeah.
going down.
Heading
Yeah, all
down.
right. So I think I should be able to just do this, because there's a wall to prevent you all from moving. But there, now you all can move freely.
Hear the spooky music that something's chasing us.
Indeed.
Like the light my torch up again. Pop. There we
More
go.
light. All right.
I would
So
probably do the same.
I
Yep.
would
do keep in
probably
mind.
once we get there, once we get down, I'd want to like signal for quiet and then listen real quick just to see if I can hear anything.
Okay. So you, so this is a good point now. So first off, I would like to add, just as a reminder for Ogden, if you do plan on taking a torch out, if you get into combat later with a torch in your hand and a shield in the other hand or something like that, it's going to be very awkward for you to get your sword out in time. But you can do that, just letting you know. Same thing for the rest of you, although you know the casters can get away with it a little more because they don't have weapons to wield. But yeah, just stuff to keep in mind. Torches
I
do
have a
take
spell
hands.
book.
True.
Alright, I might not have a torch out at the
Fair.
start, at least then.
Yeah, so everyone check what you have in your hands, and then also, if you hit P to bring up the party sheet, switch to the exploration tab. It's currently like, I don't want to call it a bug, but it's not an implemented feature yet that your animal companions still have activity slots on the exploration sheet. I believe they should not, but since they're considered party members, they have slots there. They could do things like help you in your exploration activities, but they, as far as I know, rules is written, you would essentially have to use your exploration activities to constantly command them to do something, so it's usually better for you to just do the exploration activities yourselves. But all of you can select one of your exploration activities to be active, so I know what you're doing, whether that's sneaking or searching or whatever. You can only have one thing on at a time. So if you are trying to keep an eye out for things, that means you can't be sneaking, and vice versa. That will change later at higher levels and stuff. You know, like for example, being really, really well trained in sneaking lets you sneak even while you do other activities, for example, things like that. But for now, only one thing at a time. And then that'll help me keep track of what y'all are doing, so that I know what you're all doing.
Also, if you go to actions, it shows up in exploration.
Indeed. And you
It
can just
does.
toggle them active from there.
All right, that'll be for me taking a moment to listen at the start to make sure I don't hear any activity.
All right. So what are you investigating, Oswin? Are you like investigating like the tunnels themselves? Like what are you looking out for? What kind of clues are you looking for?
Yeah, I guess I'm investigating the tunnels themselves, just any like markings or maybe even just like footsteps or anything like that, just to give me some kind of vague idea of what's going on in this tunnel, what's been going on in this tunnel. Is it just rats, or are there other things moving through here?
Okay. Yeah, yeah. If you're looking for things that might have been moving through here. Um, let's see. What I'll make a secret check for you here. So it might be a secret which skill is even involved here. Um,
Secret,
but looking
secret.
around, extremely secret, yes. um, let's see. So your secret check, which yes, there we go. Um, you do actually recognize a few things down here as you're looking around. There are some scratches and scribbles in the stone here, and some parts of this cavern appear natural, but others appear to be intentionally dug out. Uh, and you've seen this kind of handiwork before. It's not, any kind of handiwork that, you halflings or humans or elves or whatever, any of you more civilized people do. This appears to be the work of uh, kobolds.
Hmm.
You recognize
These
some
remind me of
carvings and tools and stuff.
cobalt tunnels. I'm not sure if it's still an active set, but looks kind of like cobalt tunnels.
All right. And what did I get for my did I hear anything?
Yes, I'll get to that in a second. I still need to know what ALO is doing. Okay, searching as well. Thank you.
Search.
Okay, so um as you all enter this next room, as part of the search activity, you'll roll a secret check. Um so if those of you are searching, it looks like Ashay already did. Everyone else who's searching, could please roll me a secret perception check while you head up into this next room. All right. So, none of you know necessarily what that means just yet. But yeah, you can head up into the next place and start to see some things.
Yeah. I would have again because of I would have been listening, so I would have waited and tried to see if I could hear anything before moving forward. If
Yes,
that
that makes
makes
sense.
sense.
So, listening up ahead.
Yeah,
Um,
that's why I did it as the seek action because I think that's the whisper elf
yes.
thing, and I've got a 60-foot cone for that.
Yes, that makes sense. And technically, the search activity, I believe, is just spamming the seek action, essentially.
Fair
It's
enough.
just a way to not have to take that action every single round, essentially. So that makes sense that you could just use the seek benefits for that. Um, so yeah, listening ahead into the next room, which makes perfect sense. Um, you so it's specifically for listening. Um, you do hear very, very faintly in the distance the sound of like some running water, which I think you heard the other day as well. But that seems to still be coming from further down the tunnel. Doesn't tell you a whole lot.
All right,
But
cool.
yeah, you don't hear the sound of like anything hiding around the corners or anything like that.
Yeah, I just remember I heard the rats scritching before they ambushed us,
Yes,
so I was just kind of double checking, making sure there weren't more rats.
absolutely. And so as the rest of you head up into this next room, you see a few things. And Eshe, you do indeed spot something before everyone else with your very high rolled perception. On the far end of this room you're about to enter, Well, you can see very clearly ahead of you what appear to be spider webs. Very, very, very large spider webs. And just barely, faintly, at the center of the spider webs at the far side of the room, you can see an extremely large spider just lying in wait on top of these webs.
Um, I'm going to cast a message to Ogden saying, "There's a spider up ahead. I'm tempted to light the web on fire to scare it." Thoughts?
Um, I guess we could try that. I'm not sure. I don't see how big the spider is, so
Very big.
that sounds spooky.
So, you can always change your exploration activity at any time. You can't do more than one, but if
Yeah.
you do want to switch, yeah. So that's up to you all.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna switch to sneak at this.
All right, so that'll be the avoid notice activity. Which, if anyone wants to be sneaking as they enter this next room, you can do that, and then roll me some secret stealth checks.
I don't know the spider is there yet. You have
I was
to,
about to say, have you
Yeah, if
have
you
you
haven't
only
told anyone else,
informed Ogden?
Yeah, I think after I talk to Ogden, I'd cast a message to AL and X, and then Oswin.
Cool.
all right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've got my
trips, I can
staff out.
things.
So what's you should be able to see, just as a cool little foundry thing here, Eshe, because you're hearing like a wiggly spot in the webs, even though it's beyond your sight.
Yes, I
Yeah.
do see
Yes.
it. It's
It just
like
means something is
a
there.
optical illusion eye thingy.
Yeah, so whatever something is within one of your imprecise senses, whether that's smell, hearing, or like tremor sense if you have it, whatever blind sight, that's how it'll appear, because you can't actually see it.
Okay. Well, I am going to sneak forward.
All right. I think I still need Ayala and Oswin's stealth checks.
Yes. Unactive.
Assuming you are avoiding notice. You don't have to be.
My jam roll.
Very good, very good.
Hey, yo, let's go.
So, entering into this tunnel, you can see that it continues to go deeper underground. There's like a couple places ahead of you where it goes deeper. And in this very chamber, there's patches of glowing blue fungus clinging to different parts of the room around here, not providing very much light, just a little bit. And you can barely make out these from a distance. You can barely make out these webs. Now that you're up closer, especially with your torchlight, you can definitely see these webs here, stretching around like curtains in some places in this pretty large little chamber in the cavern here. Yeah. If you would like to make your way across the room, if you want to avoid touching the webs, I'm going to need some acrobatics checks.
I was going to go to the first branch of webs right there and just light it up.
Just light it on fire. Okay. You could if you want to.
Because my character's fairly intelligent and webs tend to burn fairly easily. So I figured that would be a good way to make sure that the spider's off guard and can't get to us quite as quickly.
Yeah, makes sense. So if
Would
you're
that be a torch strike?
so I think if you are going to take an aggressive action, we'll move into initiative. Um, and with a burning web involved, it might be a pretty quick one. We'll see. Let's just add you all to an initiative tracker. And I can roll NPCs who will be rolling. Yes, that works.
Should I roll my own initiative, or would that be
So-
the stealth roll from earlier?
Correct. You will get the results of your stealth roll. So I can do that, that, that. I think I clicked all the right ones. And yeah, that'll put you all in the initiative trackers in order.
Okay, and since I'm the one initiating, do I get like any surprise thing, or do I just wait until my turn?
Yeah, I think essentially unless one of your other the giant spider won't do anything, isn't initiating yet, but if one of your other allies here wants to do something before you light up, we'll say maybe you're moving in with the torch to do that. If anyone wants to intervene or something, they've got a chance to. If they want to do something else, get in position, whatever, you've got a chance to. But yeah, just say pass if you're fine where you are, I guess. Otherwise, you're gonna want to get yourself in a position.
I'm terrified about this plan, but you know,
I mean, if I see Eshe heading towards the web with a lit torch, I'd probably want to take out my spellbook if that's something I can do with my free hand. But
yeah,
So you could take out your spellbook with a free hand, but I think if you have your spellbook in one hand and a torch in the other, any spells that or any things that have certain components will be difficult for you to do. If that makes sense.
um, yes,
Right? I don't know that all of them necessarily do, but it's just worth noting, right?
yeah,
I think most of yours are fine though.
yeah. I don't see anything that says like components
Yeah.
required.
I would have my shield and rapier out.
All right. So, yeah, if you want to move yourselves in a position like Oswin and Coda, if you want to move yourselves somewhere more favorable, that's fine. Since it's your turn, or you could chill back and watch the fire. Also an option.
Large spike.
Interesting. Interesting.
Um. Hmm.
All
And
right,
then,
I'll stick with that.
all right, and then Ayla, you can position yourself,
I'm all set.
and then Ogden may position,
I'm all set.
and then Eshe.
Checking on a thing. I'm trying to figure out. So, question for Oracle stuff. If I have my cantrip, that is my revelation cantrip. When I use it, I take on the minor curse, correct?
The specific cantrip that you got from your thing, I believe so. Yeah, the one that became a divine focus spell or whatever. The yeah. I think that's correct. I don't know why it seems weird for a cantrip, but so your feats. Let's see. Let's go. Let's dig into it. Let's get these mechanics right. So you got that from what? Your revelation spells, right?
Yeah, I gained the cantrip produce flame.
Right. Okay. So it does say casting a revelation spell costs 1 focus point, increases the effects of your oracular curse. I believe the cantrip does not cost a focus point and therefore does not increase your curse. It's just a free cantrip from your subclass, essentially.
Okay. I just wanted to check because I couldn't remember how that works.
Yeah, that's fair. It's a pretty crazy class.
Yeah.
All right, so
All right.
what's up with you? What you doing?
Well, I've got my sling in one hand and my torch in the other, so I'm just gonna hold the torch to the spider webs.
Okay. So, as far as I can find in the rules, um, what happens in this case, I think you do make an attack. Uh, if I'm understanding this all correctly. Yes, so it's a pretty easy check, but you do need to make an attack with the torch, which should be possible. All right, that is a critical hit against the web. It's a stationary web. So what that does is 1 point of fire damage destroys one single 5-foot square of web, essentially. It appears. It looks like in this system, webs are not so instantly ignitable as in others. This seems correct. But since this is a whole fun setup, I'm going to say that 14 points of damage covers 14 squares of 5 feet. And so your torch ignites along the web, races up towards the center, and gets brighter and brighter as it gets closer into the more dense webs. And you get to deal, I'm going to say half damage to the spider with the fire. Does that sound?
Okay. I could also, if I needed to, see, somatic components mean I have to move my hands, right?
Yes. So with a torch and a sling, that might be difficult.
Okay. Never mind then. So ignore the produce flame.
Okay. But still half damage to the spider. Very good.
All right.
Anything else on your turn?
Um,
You used one action to ignite, right? I think that was pretty much it so far.
yeah. So I've got 2 more actions right now. So can you mark out how much of the torch, like how much of the map I burned? Because I think what I'm thinking about doing is striding forward and swinging again.
I see what you're saying. Let's just say it is all of this, and there we go. That much. No, there's no webs on those spots, those red squares.
So I am going to stride here
Okay.
and do it again.
So you stride there, and then you're striking with the. Oh, I see. Against another. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So this would
It's a
have
7.
multi-attack penalty. It's still a 7. Okay. Against the web, that is another hit. Not a crit this time. Okay, so it'll take half damage again. And then we'll just say the webs are all gone. Just to make it easy.
Cool. That's my turn.
All right, back to Oswin.
So I feel like I can't see the spider from here.
It is hard to see just because the way the map is, but it is right here.
Oh, I do see that boy.
Because the map has stuff over top of it. Yeah.
It's buried under webs.
Yes.
Does that make it unable to hit if I like want to try and shoot it with my sling?
Technically, right now the webs are even gone. So you can
Oh,
just
sweet.
hit it.
Alright, I'm gonna do that.
I wonder.
First, I am going to use an action to. Ba-ba-bum. Still getting used to this sheet.
Yeah, very fair, very fair. Lots of learning. We're new to this.
Hunt prey. Oh, it helps. It's in actions. Oh, I gotcha. I understand. Hunt prey action. Boom.
Okay.
Half sling staff.
So in your character sheet, when you go to make these attacks, above your actions there's a couple toggles, and if they are relevant, you can toggle them, and that will help automate the damage and stuff. So that is a hit.
Sweet.
All right. Good damage, good damage.
Also, I think we should be doing 1d10 plus 1. Because I think propulsive lets it add my strength mod, which is 1.
So propulsive lets you add half of your strength mod, rounded down.
Oh,
Which is why it's strength plus 0. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, most range weapons don't get any modifier at all, but the propulsive helps it a little bit.
I gotcha. All right. Cool.
All right.
Yeah. I think I'm actually going to use one action to. How far is this? Yeah, I'm gonna have my bear run up and make an attack.
Hell yeah. How much speed does Coda have?
Coda has
I think it was 35.
at least 30, 35, yeah.
All right, excellent. Plenty for that movement. That is unfortunately a miss.
All right, that is my turn.
All right, it is the giant spider's turn, who now has a tasty bear in front of it. It no longer has a web to hunt with, but that doesn't mean it's not going to do anything else here. And since Yakota's right in front of it, it doesn't need to move or anything, so it's just going to make a strike right away.
I also have to
12.
ask,
Yes.
was it off the ground with the web, and when it got destroyed, did it take fall damage?
It wouldn't be that high off the ground now. It would
Okay.
need to be a bit higher. Yeah. That's a miss with a 12, I believe. I think Coda has higher than that. It's gonna try again with a multi-attack penalty. Ooh, for a 6. Unlucky. Then what the hell? It doesn't have webs to hide behind anymore. The only thing it can do is desperately strike out at a -10 for a total
Awesome.
of 5. Completely missing, and it is Ayla's turn. I like how I'll talk about this later. Never mind. Just go for it.
Uh-oh.
You're good. You're good.
Well, first I'm gonna command Nocti to move, or do stuff. So she's gonna move over there with her movement.
All right.
Then, as my second action, I am going to. Oh, that's not character sheet. I'm going to channel elements, turn on my aura. Up. And as a part of the action, I can use a 1-action elemental blast, targeting the spider. Whoops, that's not the button to roll it. Is there a button to roll it? Oh,
I don't know. Let me see your character sheet. So you're looking at your elemental blast.
Oh, it looks like it says make a melee or range impulse attack, and then add your strength modifier.
Yes.
yes.
But you normally it would.
But only to the damage.
But yeah, it would be an impulse attack. What is an impulse?
So that would
attack?
be,
This
I
must be on
assume, with
one of the other pages.
Constitution with proficiency roll? Probably.
Hold on. Impulses. Same proficiency and attribute modifier as your kineticist class DC. So yes, it's D20 roll plus attribute plus proficiency bonus plus whatever other bonuses might apply situationally. Yes. I don't know why
So
that feature doesn't
D20 plus
automatically
7.
roll it, but yes, D20 plus 7. If you want to add that to the thing later, we can do that. But yes, 45 hits.
5 hits. And that'll be 3 electricity.
All right.
Also, I think I forgot to roll my precision damage from my Hunter's Edge.
Oh, yeah, go for it. If you you see those toggles at the top of your actions? It's like 2
Yes,
checkboxes.
yeah. Let me check that.
If you turn those on, it should automate the damage and stuff.
Thank you.
No worries.
And yeah, I'm gonna take a move action. Get forward if I can move
Alright.
through people.
A stride, as it were.
I am here. That is my 3 actions.
All right. And then it is Ogden's turn.
All right. I've been cooking.
All right. Let's
I'm
hear
gonna
it.
stride 25. Am I able to be in this spot behind the spider?
I believe yes. It would just be yeah. That's fine.
Okay, so I would have to do a, what is it called? Second stride, or
Yeah, just another
is there a-
stride.
All right, cool. And now I am flanking it, and my third action will be to use an attack.
Hell yeah.
How do I add flank?
It should do it for you if you have it targeted. Which is nice.
Okay, I'm going to target it, and then click the attack. It says modifier circumstance +1.
It will be able to see it when you roll it. So your attack. Yeah, off guard flanked, and -2 on its AC. So yeah, it worked. But it did miss.
Okay.
Unfortunate. Yeah, the flanking is a penalty to their AC rather than a bonus to your roll. That's why I didn't see it there. But yeah, back to Ash.
All right, sheathing the torch.
All right.
I can still see it. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, since Ayla has a torch out still.
And casting produce flame at it.
All right. That is an attack roll. It looks like okay. That's a miss, unfortunately.
Yep. All right, that's my turn.
So is sheath spell nothing with the third?
The spell was the third. It's a 2-action.
Oh, is it like put out the torch, sheath the torch, basically? Oh, it's a
No.
2-action spell. I see. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Excellent. All right, back to Oswin.
First action, reload. Second action, fire.
All right, so it does have cover, which I think should be calculated. If not, I'll add it in. But yes.
Actually, before I fire, I'm going to have Coda take 2 actions.
Okay.
The first action will be to attack himself.
Go for it. Oof. Critical miss.
Rip. And the second action will be his bear support benefit.
Ah.
Hell yeah.
So if I hit him, he deals a little extra damage with a claw strike,
That's sick.
and then I will take my shot.
Take this shot. Oof.
Oh.
Unfortunate.
Damn. Ooh, can I hero point that? Oh no, it has to be before. It has
Has
to
to
be
be
before.
before. Yeah, it has to be before.
All right.
All right. Giant Spider's turn. Giant Spider is still locked in combat with this poor bear. It rolls a 27 to hit. That might be a crit. What is
I
Coda's
think
AC?
I think Coda's AC is 15.
All right. That is 6 total damage. It rolled very poorly. On
Okay.
its critical
Yeah, I'll take
damage against Coda. However, Coda now needs to make me a Fortitude save.
Come on, Coda. How many hero points do we get? Just 1, right? And then we
Just
might
1.
gain hero points throughout. Yeah.
You might gain more later, yeah.
I will not hero point this. Ooh, maybe I should have.
Maybe you shoulda. Too late now. Oh, you took 1 out of a D12 extra poison damage.
Damn. All right.
And is now off guard from the poison. All right, having gotten poison in one target, he's going to switch to Ogden and do multi-attack penalty attack against Ogden.
What does off guard do?
It is primarily a -2 to AC, which should already be reflected on the sheet since the condition is
Okay.
is there. But it can trigger other things, like some things might require a target to be off guard.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a catch-all for like things like often things that would grant like advantage in like D&D terms would be just off guard. It's like the catch-all, you have an edge over them thing. But it can also be a debuff, like in this case. So Ogden, it's gonna roll a 23 to hit you with its fangs.
That hits.
All right, that's normal damage. It rolls 5, and you need to make me a Fortitude saving throw as well, my friend.
Uh-oh.
Fortitude saving throw. Is this private or?
No, it can be public. Oh, let me double check that. I think that's close. That is a failure. You are also going to take some. Oh, you're going to take 12 poison damage out of a d12. The other side of the coin flipped there, and you are also
I'm on 2 HP.
off guard.
No.
The spider is then going to attempt to scurry away from you, back up deeper into its nest.
I will get a attack of opportunity.
All right, go for it.
Is this full, or do I have a multi-attack for this, or how does that
This
work?
would be full. Yeah, it would be. You don't have a penalty for an attack of opportunity, I believe. If you held an action on your turn, that would keep your penalty, but no, the reaction is full. Ooh, 13's a miss, unfortunately. So the spider scurried up and away and is like retreating deeper into its little nook here. And then it's Ayala's turn.
All right. First,
It seems yeah, it seems like it's desperately trying to get away at this point.
gonna command Nocti. Nocti will stride. And then use cat support benefit.
Hell yeah. Ooh, that's a good one.
And then I will take a 2-action elemental blast.
Fancy.
That's
That's
19
a
to
hit.
hit.
Yep. So
Excellent.
after your hit, it becomes off guard. But go ahead and roll that
Um,
damage.
Yes, it is a d6 plus 4 for 5 damage.
How do you want to do this?
Oh, fuck. Um, Nocti is gonna run up and get in between its several legs and tangle it up while I uh, conjure some lightning and just throw a tiny bolt of static at it.
All right, so I assume it gets shocked, it like flips over onto its back, and its legs kind of kick up in the air because it's a spider dying. And then they all curl up, and it stops moving. And you're out of combat. Da 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 da.
And
XP
Nocti
reminder?
meows in celebration.
Indeed.
I told you
Um,
all I was thinking.
For vanquishing this foe, you all get 100 experience points.
Ooh. And now we're at 260, right?
I have 250.
It should be 250.
I think 250. Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Let's do the math wrong at some point.
Yeah, it's all
Alright.
right.
I'm going to head up to Ogden.
Hold on. I may have read the wrong section here. That's 40 experience points. I apologize. I was reading the wrong notes.
190.
190 indeed. And I'll also say, based on all of that. Okay, yeah. So back to you all. Sorry.
Can we take time to treat wounds?
Yeah, I was gonna do that.
Yeah, you could post up in here and start doing that.
I'll keep watch on the other exit. Make sure nothing comes and gets us.
All right, so if you are searching, yeah, give me that secret perception check.
Yes.
Oh,
Searching.
if Oswin's gonna, is Oswin treating Coda's wounds?
Yes.
All right, then I will treat.
Make Nocti help me with Seek.
It is a bit tricky, right?
Okay.
How that works. I need to look it up for now, but let's just to make it very easy and quick, just give yourself a +1 circumstance bonus for Nocti helping you. I think there's some complicated stuff there with you needing to spend your action to tell Nocti to help you, which then negates you taking your action in the first place. But yeah, I'll have to figure it out.
Never mind. It'll be fine. I'll roll a 1, and we will all get murdered by spiders.
What were you trying to say, Joanna? I'm sorry.
I rolled a 16. I assume this is the normal DC of 15.
Yep. So both of you passed and can start rolling some hit points for your targets. And neither of you are off guard anymore. Nice.
How do I do that? Is it the...
You could just roll 2d8 potentially, or if you open up the actual treat wounds thing, there should be a button for it. Yeah, if you have treat wounds on, there's like a success level at the very bottom, 2d8. You can just click that to roll it.
Oh yeah, I see it.
All right, and then Ogden can add that to their hit points. In the meantime,
If you succeed, I can keep treating them.
yes, that sounds accurate.
So I'm gonna try again.
Absolutely. So if you succeed, you can continue treating them. which means if you continue for a total of 1 hour, you double the hit points they were gained from the treat wounds.
Okay, so
it
I don't
sounds
need
like.
to roll again?
I think that's correct. Yeah. So if you were to sit here for an hour, essentially waiting out that timer you normally would for a second check, right? You just automatically succeed that second check essentially at the end of the hour and get the full hit point benefit.
Would we want to sit here for an hour?
If it's possible, I would like to. Otherwise, I can just chug my healing potion.
Ogden is the most like melee of us, so maybe it's a good idea to wait.
Yeah, I think it's best to spend an hour here and then we can regroup, especially with Ayala as a lookout.
Makes sense. So you spend an hour there, and with Ayala on lookout, you notice a couple things. I assume, Ogden, your activity was having treat wounds performed on you, essentially. Which I think sometimes you can do other things, but you've got Ayla on watch at least. And Ayla, you notice a couple things. First of all, way back behind you all, actually, where the spider climbed up to in its lair, is a spider's lair. Which you all should be able to click on and see things in there. It's a wrapped up pile of bones and things where the spider was keeping just random shit that it couldn't eat. It just dumped there. And there's things in there you might be able to find. There's an unusual sword and an unusual liquid. The two things of value you found there. Everything else appears like rusted away and corroded or torn to shreds. Couple things though.
Can I take the liquid?
Go for it.
I would be interested in the sword unless someone else wants it.
I don't think I can use a sword.
Not my thing.
Yeah, feel free to claim it.
Are short swords simpler martial weapons?
Good question. I can find that out fairly quickly.
A short sword is a finesse martial weapon.
I cannot use a short sword.
Indeed. The other thing you notice is ahead of you, in this this next little section of the tunnel, there appears to be a barricade constructed into the wall. It's got like spiked wood, a wooden wall constructed there. Looks like it's made out of part of a barrel and some other parts of the basement you saw previously. And it looks like this place especially has been more manually dug out than some of the others. The walls are smoother and like the time has been taken to actually smooth out parts of the floor here and stuff like that. It's starting to look less like a natural cave in this direction. Yeah.
How do I identify the unusual liquid? I think I need alchemist tools, right?
Correct. So there's an identify
Two.
alchemy activity you can take, which you would then, I believe it's a crafting check with alchemist's tools in hand to identify an alchemical substance.
Okay, I will need to purchase those at some point.
And then for identify magic, if you want to figure out that sword, you could try to figure that out. I think that has easier requirements.
Yeah, I can. Let's see what. Does it have? What
Indeed.
skill do you roll?
Yes, actually, if anyone wants to take a look at it, just let me know, and I'll tell you.
I would like to.
Okay, this would actually just be a crafting check. All right.
I'll take a look as well. Actually, nah. Looks like Ashley's got it.
Oh, look at that. Actually, I didn't even need to look that up. It was right there in Foundry, and I just didn't even see it. So, yes, that was a full success. You identify that it is a finely crafted short sword. You notice that it has a precious gem embedded into the hilt that was hard to see at first under all the crud that was covering it, but you start to clear some stuff away and you start to recognize the make. And yeah, it seems like it could be worth some money. Otherwise, it's a fairly normal short sword as far as you can tell. Just, valuable one.
All right.
Oh, and I didn't actually mark the spider as dead. Lamau. That's fine though. There we go. Cool. And I think that's where we'll pick up from next time as you look deeper into the tunnel here with your party healed up after dealing with the spider. We'll figure out where you go from here. There's some options, right? The tunnel goes deeper, but there's also this weird barricade thing. What could that mean? But yeah, thank you all for joining me this week.
The French
For
Revolution.
running.
Thank you.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Punched a spider.